I feel like crap and I'm losing my voice, so that's fine.
Oh,
But I'm drinking my tea. I don't even like
yes.
tea, but I've had more tea this week than I think I've had my entire life. It's starting to grow on me, and I sort of have my voice back, so
Warm tea with lemon is required.
I'm
And
working.
do not drink water with ice in it.
I don't ever drink water with ice.
Okay, room temperature water.
My kids know if I have a glass and it has ice, they're not allowed to touch it because they know what that means. And it means it's not water or apple juice.
I saw the whiskey in your shopping cart the other day, I think, and chocolate, I think, right?
Yeah. How did I run out of those two things on the same day? It was
And
it was bad.
who else takes a photo and posts it to Facebook of whiskey and chocolate together?
They go together. I can't have red wine anymore. So what else are you gonna do?
None other than our podcast partner of creating connections, Vickie Musni, and Gitomer certified advisor Mitch Taylor, kicking off episode 13.
Lucky
My
15.
dad's favorite number. Shout out to my father, Harry Taylor, with episode 13. And we have a lot to get to today in the podcast, don't we?
Yeah. Did you get the article I sent you?
I did get the article you
Okay.
sent me, and it's all about networking.
Kind of. It's
Okay.
titled to me, and maybe this is just me overthinking things because I'm a Toastmaster and I automatically critique everything. But to me, the title didn't really match the article, but I still thought it was a great article for
Okay.
business. But what they call step 2 and step 3, I don't know. It says 5 steps to seriously improve your network.
And this is from Entrepreneur Magazine, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so entrepreneur.com. We'll put the link somewhere down here below.
Yeah.
We'll put the link like right there. There you go.
So yeah, 5 steps, but then it goes on stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, like that. And I'm like, okay. The first one is mindset. And that one I totally agree with, especially for networking. You have to go in with a genuine mindset. And it talks about people that, put their game face on for a networking event and how you can't really grow your network if you're just putting on an act or putting on your happy face. And maybe sometimes to a degree if you're not really feeling it and you need to go, but that can't be your norm. You have to go to network because you care.
Absolutely. It has to be congruent across the board. And our good friend Scott Favors spoke about that before in the past, and that was actually my very first article for Disc Jockey News was, is your marketing, congruent or not? And it's same with networking. You have to be genuine across the
Well,
board.
people like Scott and like Big Daddy, we talked about this with him, who are just, so real all the time. But you can tell, when you go to these events, you can tell who's genuine and who's just there or being fake or, out to see what they can gain and not really interested in building true relationships.
Well, and I chatted about this today with my bride and groom, and I met with a family today, a mother of the bride, father of the bride, and I met with a few different couples today, actually. Busy day at the office. But we were chatting about how, every DJ, not every DJ, but most DJs will just start out, the father-daughter nonsense. It's time for the father-daughter dance. Hey, dude, it's so important for these moments to be genuine and real and not to make up anything. The bride was held by her dad. Maybe that wasn't their relationship. And so it's important to be genuine in these moments, not just networking, but really in every kind of presentation you have for a client and in networking too.
Just in general, people need to be more real. But yeah, that's why I like the article, but it was about more than just networking, in my opinion. And then stage 2 and 3, to me, were more about big picture business stuff.
Okay.
Stage 2 talks about the destination. And basically just, knowing where you want to go. And then it links in with stage 3, which is the map, they call it.
Well, it reminds me honestly of stage 2. I see is about the goal. So it's, what's your 90-day goal? What's your 1-year goal? What's your 5-year goal? It goes back to me, to goal setting and Dave Ramsey even too, of the baby steps, and it's like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? And, in car sales, you used to be, I got to sell 20 cars this month. No, you got to sell one first. And then you get the next one and the next one and the next one. And just keep the roll going. Stage 3, also, I saw this in stage 3. Were you going to go on to 4 yet?
No, not yet.
All right. So what were your thoughts on stage 3? Because I loved some of this content on stage 3.
I did too. And that's why, but to me, it was more big picture. But I like, where was it? It said, next to each of your goals, write down the 3 people who will help you or that you're already connected with or who are close to that to me made so much sense. Okay, for this goal, these are my 3 people I need to talk to or connect with or whatever. And maybe I don't necessarily use this exact process, but my mind works this way. And that's why I think this article resonated.
Can we give a sneak peek? Can we give a sneak peek?
Sure.
This step right here is actually one small part of the little black book of connections workshop that we're doing for Jeffrey Gitomer coming up here. In many different places. It's going to be in Albany.
Yep.
Coming up in November. It's going to be at the Las Vegas DJ show coming up on Tuesday, September 1st. And on the Wedding and Event Professionals Cruise. So come check us out.
Well, because you didn't put those in order. But yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, so first there'll be Las Vegas DJ show. If you miss Las Vegas DJ show on Tuesday, September 1st, come see me in Chicago on Wednesday, September 16th. It'll be presented there as well. If you miss that, you can't make it to Vegas, you can't make it to Chicago, join us.
Then you got to be on the cruise.
Well, join us in Albany if you're in the East Coast in November, or West Coasters, you can come see me in November as well on the Wedding and Event Professionals Cruise, WEPcruise.com. But that's actually one of the steps. Literally is one of the steps. What he just wrote about in here is one of the steps in Little Black Book of Connections workshop. So I love that. I also loved that book, Never Eat Alone.
Yes.
By Keith Farrar. If you haven't read it, it's an amazing book. Amazing book. Love it.
I was looking. I have another book that related to this, but I think I took it back up. Oh, no. Here it is. All right. Do you have more you wanted to say about 2 or 3?
No, fire away.
Just to plug. Okay. Step 4 is building a human connection.
Yeah.
And, just being real, asking good questions, paying attention to what people say, that whole thing. And have I talked to you about this book yet? Human to Human?
I don't think so.
No. Brian Kramer is actually a friend of mine. We went to middle school and high school together.
Wow.
He wrote this book.
And he's still your friend?
He's still my friend. We just had coffee together a while back, maybe a year ago.
Okay.
He and his wife live in the Bay Area, not far at all from where we grew up. And he wrote this book called Human to Human. It's a short, quick read. But and he's also, if you want the video version, he did a TED Talk recently. Not even a TEDx. He did like the real TED Talk. Yeah. So Brian Kramer, check out Human to Human. But the whole premise is just people do business with people. And we need to not think business to business. We need to think human to human.
Nice. Not
business to customer or. And so that's it in a nutshell. But seeing this step in the article reminded me of that book. It's a good little read. And he's super active on all kinds of different media, podcasts and things like that. So encourage anyone to check that out. And he gives a different perspective because he's outside of our wedding industry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I appreciate just hearing it from another business standpoint and then taking what applies to us. Sometimes it just helps to hear it from different people.
And I loved the statement here, ask better questions, receive better answers.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking questions to truly understand what someone needs, then you're going to be asking better questions to really help them in what they need from you or how you can be a better connector. For example, I spoke to, well, this actually gets probably into step 5, so maybe I'll hold this thought.
That's okay. It can be our segue because I'm excited about step 5. That's my favorite. So
super connecting is step 5, and stage 5 as they call it here. The article is titled 5 Steps, and they give us these stages. Weird, but anyway,
content, though.
It says the fastest way to grow your own network is to introduce 2 people who can benefit from each other. As simple as the strategy sounds, it's one you hardly see most people do. So, quick side note, this is step 5 for me, and this literally happened last night. I got a text from a guy that I saw speak at the Midwest DJs live show. Actually, Tuesday, I take it back. Tuesday night, he sends me a text saying, "Hi, Howard." He said, "Hey, this is Howard. I saw you speak at Midwest DJs Live, and I need help for an event in Detroit, Michigan. How far are you from there?" And me to Detroit's like 6.5 hours away. It's like, can't help you, but I got connections down there, right? So long story short, he reached out to me. I knew of a guy who would help Bill Herman on an event in Metro Detroit, and that's a friend of mine named Daryl Scott. And I had some other connections there I could refer as well if I wanted to, but I knew Daryl had done this kind of audio video support before for a person I know and trust, Bill Herman. So I had no problem making this referral for Howard, a speaker I saw at Midwest DJs Live, who I'd never met before until Midwest DJs Live this year. And I just put the 2 of them together and said, okay, here, Daryl, call Howard. Howard, Daryl will be calling you here tomorrow. Get together, see if you guys can make this work. And they did. I texted Howard, ironically, tonight on the way here. And I said, did you 2 get squared away? He goes, thanks. He's a great guy. We're a go. Awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, you are super good at super connecting. You really are.
But you are too.
Well, thanks. And no, I was just thinking about how like you introduced me to John Young.
Yeah.
And just what a great connection that has ended up being. And then the people that I've met through that connection and being part of the Disc Jockey News team. And yeah, and it's amazing how it multiplies.
DJNTV.
There we go.
Which we're on DJNTV as well now. So thank you, John Young, for putting this podcast on DJNTV. We love our viewers.
And I'm afraid when I start naming specific names, I'm going to leave people out because there's so many people that I've either tried to help them connect or they've helped me connect to other people. And that's one of the things that just really drew me into this industry is every time I'm at an industry show, it feels like it's this big family reunion. And I remember walking through one of the hotel lobbies with you and you're like, oh, hey, have you met Robbie? And I had not met Robbie Britton before. And I ended up, just because of that casual introduction, ended up meeting him and speaking at his show. And then while I was there, I met other people. And then I got invited to go speak at Tampa Bay. And, it just kind of snowballs. And then Dave Turney made a connection for me to someone named Doug Scott in Canada. And I've done multiple shows up there because of that connection. And I'm leaving for Canada again on Sunday. Yeah. Already.
Awesome.
Okay. But yeah, I love the whole idea of super connecting at the local level, at the national level, at the international level. It just makes sense.
Well, and last week when we were in Reno, you were super connecting definitely throughout that Professional Saleswoman of Nevada luncheon. And that was great to see that, again, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk and getting it done and connecting people. And here's another concept. I can't remember if I mentioned it at the conference back in Reno or not, the 4th annual Weddings of the West conference, but I so wanted to mention it. So if I didn't mention it, I'm going to mention it here in the podcast.
Awesome.
For our viewers. And this is something Ben Miller and I were talking. I don't know if you know Ben. He's out of Normal, Illinois. And he said something that really struck to me. And it was that, the 1950s mentality of we went down to the local Five and Dime and we talked with neighbors at the malt shop and just chatted. We kind of got away from that and the world got separated and and we're all far flung in different places in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. But now in the 2000s and 2010, with the advent of the internet and the social media and everything else, that's kind of leveled the playing field.
Yeah.
Because now we're all back on that same level playing field, and we're all interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crucial to know that, look, we're back to 1950s, 60s mom and pop, everybody knows your name way of business. You can't hide anymore behind that screen name.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody knows who you are. So, yeah.
Yeah, good point. No, and it is interesting to see how it really doesn't take much effort in a lot of ways now to connect people or stay connected.
No.
I did an event, Valentine's dance. We DJ'd, and before they had us do the dancing part, they did bring in a magician to do some entertainment during dinner. And then I ran into him about 3 or 4 weeks ago at a chamber mixer.
Awesome.
And I happened to have another friend from Toastmasters who is also a magician, who's newer to town. And you met his wife at the luncheon.
Oh, okay.
She was there, Talisa.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Donnie, did you know that there's a magic club in Reno? He's like, no, I didn't even know that. And I said, yeah. And by the way, my friend Justin that I just had coffee with yesterday is the president of that club. And it's as simple as just sending out one message to both of them saying, here's a virtual introduction for you.
Cool.
And then Justin did the same thing for me. He said, well, hey, I know someone that owns a bar downtown who might really benefit from your trivia game. He's been looking for somebody reliable to do some extra midweek stuff. And then he shot out a text to both of us and introduced me to his contact. And it's a mindset thing. It really is, just to bring it back full circle to this. Super connecting it's a mindset. It's a way of life. And
absolutely.
It has to be natural and genuine, but it also is good when it's part of the plan. How's that for summing up the whole 5-point article in 2 sentences?
Awesome. Loved it.
Oh. So the other thing I wanted us to talk about today is apps and kind of how technology is making it easier to connect. It's making a lot of things easier. And I don't know how I missed this. I did not start using MileIQ until about a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Why did you not tell me about that years ago? So that's why I put it on our list of things to talk about. I want to know, what are the most helpful apps that you use, both business related and just life in general.
Okay, so
I'm sure a few of mine, but
okay, so Candy Crush is
1010 is my Candy Crush.
I don't play any of those games. Really, I don't. I don't have time to play those games. MileIQ, I absolutely love.
Yeah.
MileIQ is an app you can have running in the background, essentially, on your. I'm not sure if I know it's on an iPhone. I'm not sure if it's on Android or anything.
Yeah,
but,
I have an Android. I use it. Yep.
Okay, got it. So it's great to be able to check your drives. You can personalize your app to yourself. There's a frequently asked questions and feedback button. There's a tell a friend button, which apparently I didn't use with you, but I told you verbally. So, hey, it's all good. But MileIQ is a great app to be able to check and get your mileage, really, and come tax time. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it does a printout.
Well, and you can classify your drives too: business, personal, site visit. You can even go deep as that if you wanted to.
I don't do anything else other than swipe. My drives pop up, and I swipe one way for personal and one way for business, and then it just tracks them.
So you swipe left for right
left
for
personal, right for. I'm opposite.
This isn't the Tinder app, no?
No.
Swipe left, swipe left. Oh.
One of my kids the other day said, wait, what's Tinder?
Oh.
I'm never buying a used phone again.
Yeah. It's a bad idea. All right, so other apps that I use. Another app that I use a lot is called Super Planner.
Okay.
If you haven't checked out Super Planner is great to be able to help you with many different things. If you're in the catering business, you're able to check and put in a number of attendees that are attending the party, and it'll tell you, how many hors d'oeuvres you need and how many the good estimate is to use per person, how many drinks you need, 2-hour cocktail party, 3-hour cocktail party, how many bottles of wine you might need. In regards to a DJ, right? You're looking at a DJ side of things. There's a venue capacity button. So you want to look at, okay, how many people, how many square footage is that building? And let's say you got a 4,000 square foot party space. That will tell you that for 60-inch rounds of 8 people per table or 72-inch rounds of 10 people per table, then you can fit banquet comfy size 333 people. Okay. It also will tell you that, okay, for 400 people, for a dance floor, you typically want a 28-foot by 28-foot dance floor. So you also can recommend to your client, and it makes you look like the expert when you have these tools at your fingertips and able to whip them out, walk through a bride and groom in regards to what they need for their space for layout. Mm-hmm. It's only going to help you.
Yeah, especially if you're depending on the venue, but with more and more like backyard parties and people renting halls that do lots of different things. The one we just were at this past Saturday was a great big hall in the middle of this outdoor like camp woodsy area. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool, but they don't provide anything with it. So I was glad that the client did hire a wedding planner, and I had to work with her a lot on those kind of details and figuring that out. And that would have been really helpful.
Another app I use is called Sunrise Sunset. Mm-hmm. And what that app basically does, it does exactly that. It tells you when the sunrise and sunset is. But what's that helpful for? Well, you can also type in the date and the location of your venue, and it'll tell you when the sun is setting in that area. Well, that helps you when a photographer wants to pull a bride and groom out for sunset photos. You can predict when that's going to be in advance, have advanced communication with your photographer and your bride and groom, and see if that's going to happen or not, and then adjust the timeline to fix it in advance versus doing it on the fly that night. I can't.
Well, I could have had couples say, "Oh yeah, we booked this site for the whole day. We haven't decided what time, we're going to start our ceremony yet. What do you recommend?" And depending on the venue, if it's at a hotel or a banquet facility where it's kind of set, but we've done a lot of the outdoor ones, and that's very helpful to know.
And how many DJs I talk to say, "Well, they pulled out for photos." You could have figured that out in advance, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I do a lot of my planning in advance. I know.
I had no idea.
I know not everyone's like me. And this last one I shared with Randy Bartlett on a flight home from a conference about probably 2 or 3 years ago now. I thought everyone was doing this, and apparently everyone's not. But that is using a online storage service, whether it be a Google Drive or a Dropbox, something like that, and then literally sharing that with your clients. So that's their folder. So your scripts, your introductions, any special edits you create, our instant slideshows that we do with tailored weddings, all those files, your photo booth images, all those files get uploaded into their folder. So now you don't have to worry about thumb drives back and forth or CDs getting sent in the mail or any of that stuff. It just makes it so much easier to share your files back and forth with your client. And we literally have one Dropbox folder for every single client that we have working with tailored weddings right now. So
cool. Very cool. What about personal, like travel stuff or other things?
Oh my gosh. I would not survive with with my travel schedule. I would not survive without Tripit. Yes. Tripit is an app. It's a $50 app, so it's a little pricey. But considering it updates you when you have any flight changes or gate changes, I can go here and look and see all my trips that I have. You can't see that on my phone, but I can look and see all the trips that I have on my phone. So I know I'm going to be in Schaumburg, Illinois in June. I'm going to be in Seattle in July. I'm going to be at Las Vegas DJ Show in August. San Jose in October. November is Albany and LA. So there's... I can go in and see what someone says, "Oh, when you come into the town," I can just boom, and it's right there.
Nice.
I don't got to go searching for an email. Do I use what?
Listies.
What's Listies? Educate me.
It's basically it's a shopping list app, but I
Go
love
figure.
it. I can create separate lists, which I love because sometimes I'll be, thinking about something. I'll be at an event and like, oh, I need to get and I can create a separate list for work stuff. Craig will say, oh yeah, we need to get a few more extension cords, this size or whatever. I can just pop that in my list, but I can keep my grocery stuff because I know for me as a mom and a self-employed business owner, even just if I can just make one trip to the store and get everything I need, that saves me a lot of time and effort and energy. And I like that I can separate it out and I can make a separate list for Costco, versus a regular grocery store or whatever. And so that's one that just saves me a little bit of time in other areas of my life.
Absolutely.
That frees me up for other things. But there are just stupid little stuff, the office supplies. I need more pens, or I'm out of copy paper, stuff like that. If I don't put it down in my list right away, then I don't remember I'm out until the next time I go to print something and I have no copy paper.
So listies.
Listies.
Awesome.
Plus, it's fun because it has like a cute little cartoon, and when you check the box when you get stuff in the store, it he comes out and he smiles, and then if you get everything on your list, he has a little party horn. It's cute. Shut up.
It doesn't take much, folks.
It's for yellows.
It doesn't take much. Well, that's all we have time for today. I'm Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
Certified Personality Trainer Vickie Musni.
This has been Creating Connections Podcast 13 for Disc Jockey News TV. And come check us out at mitchtaylor.net and VickieMusni.com.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.